Dear the Queen.
Basically.
Joey has a big enough bathroom for all of his stuff. He loves gin, and he, you know, wants to just like do his husband a bunch. Let him in. Should I write the cover letter?
I think. Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of New to the City. Deschenes Graham, what's up?
What's up, my dude? How are you?
Dee is back.
Are we drinking?
Back. Yes, we are.
I've got gin and something.
I am so jealous of like your little gin goblet.
Fiona, my roommate, she's stocked. There's a full liquor cabinet here, and I love it.
That's what's up.
The first thing that they did when I arrived here was offer me a cup of tea. The second thing they did was offer me a gin and tonic.
Welcome to England.
You remember the last time we recorded, Alex asked me if I wanted a gin and tonic, and I was like, I had just gotten done saying I wasn't drinking, and then I was like, yes.
You
were
were
that's what
on
I
your
did for the rest of the night.
Your wicked hangover, and nothing like the hair of the dog, right? Is that the saying? Hair of the dog?
Hair of the dog, yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. That's a bit strange.
Like boot and rally, that's my favorite. Not to do, to say.
Excuse me, what?
Boot and rally? Oh, is that like a back road hick thing to say?
I think so.
Okay. Boot and rally, it's like you puke, but you keep drinking. You boot, but then you rally.
I literally have never heard that before in my life.
Oh. Well, what's the word for it then?
There is no word for it. You just throw up and go.
Throw up and go?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I miss you.
I know. I miss you too. We say that every week, but it's still true.
But it's still me.
Still half true.
Tell me, what's going on?
Not much. Just employed of the seas over here.
She's a businesswoman.
I am. I could not do it to you again. It meaning drop a big piece of news live on the podcast. This one was too exciting because I beat out 1,000 people. You know, like in Devil Wears Prada, when they're like 1,000 girls would kill for this job. I'm Anne Hathaway.
Congratulations. Thinking that cerulean doesn't apply to you.
Yeah. So basically, I still like can't even believe that this worked out the way that it did. But I got to London. I had 10 days of quarantine, and I've been applying for jobs since before I got here. And the day 10 of quarantine was the day that I got offered my job, and my first day was my first day out into the world, which is just kind of wild. So I've been at work it's been a week now, and it's a supervisor job. It's like admin kind of thing, but I love it so far. It's super fun, and it's not dancing, but you know what? She's a job, and we're making ends meet, and that's just the goal at the end of the day, especially during a pandemic. So I'm very happy. I'm happy to get a job at a place that I actually liked and get inspired by, and I'm very excited.
I'm so excited for you. Let me put this into context because, I called my sister after... Well, my sister was there. Oh, no, my sister was there on the phone call that you gave me. And I called my mom, and my mom was like, well, what is she doing? And I was like, to be honest, I just blacked out from happiness that I couldn't really even tell you because I was so fucking excited. I was just like, of course, we talked about it, you put yourself in the way of all these opportunities. And of course the universe is going to give it to you. Like, duh.
I did a lot of manifesting like that week because I applied on like a Indeed or like a job website. And then I had to do another assessment, which I think I angrily texted you about because it was the Excel one. And I was like, it was so hard. I was like, oh, fuck that job. Like, I bet I bombed it, whatever. But I mean, I tried my best. And then I got an email asking to fill out this like questionnaire, and it was like the next stage. So then I filled it out, sent it back, and then I got an email saying that, so it was supposed to be 3 stages, and the questionnaire was the second stage. Then I was like refreshing my email all day long. At 6:49 p.m., I get an email that was like, we're opening up for Zoom interviews. You've made it to this stage, but there was like 40 people and there were 10 Zoom spots. So they were basically like, the first 10 people to email us back gets a Zoom interview. So I sent that shit. I got the email at 6:49. I sent the email at 6:50 and I was sweating. But I was one of the 10, so I scored an interview with the owner and it went really well. And then I was like, well, I've done, my job is over. You know what I mean? Like, I have done all that I can do, and it's just leaving it up to the universe to decide if this is right for me or not, which is very liberating, actually, because it was just such a stressful time. And then I got an email the next day that she couldn't make a decision based off of the 10. So she narrowed it down again. And I think it was like 3 or 4 people that it got narrowed down to for another interview. And then from there, I got the job.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Me too. All I can think about, like, when you said, like, there was only 10 Zoom interviews for 40 people is, like, you're in the Hunger Games and you're, like, running to, like, the cornucopia just to grab the interview. Literally
it is. And my roommates and I were kind of like, that's a bit harsh. But at the same time, my mom made a good point. She was like, if you want somebody that's going to be like really on top of their communication, that's kind of the best way to do it. Because if you don't see the email until the next morning, that maybe that's not the type of job that they need, you know? It's a
litmus test of who is on top of things. Like, if your job involves communication, involves email, correspondence, and stuff like that, like, to be...
Which is literally, like, the entire job. Especially now in COVID times, that's the main thing.
Right, so it was almost like a little bit of a test, like a little bit of, like, well, let's see who gets back to us, and maybe at that point, like, maybe those 10 people were the 10 people who moved on. I don't know, but, like, that is a good point from Janine, is, like, saying, well, we're sending out an email, and if that's a big part of this job and a big part of how you do your job, then let's see who gets back to us, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so it's really nice, actually, because all my roommates are working. So if I didn't have this job, I would literally be twiddling my thumbs at home all day waiting for people to get home. But now I have somewhere to be, which is really fun.
Makes you feel important, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. My roommates were like, oh, just like a foreigner to come in and like take the jobs that everybody else is trying to get. It's like,
but it's like the perfect job for you, from what it sounds like. I think you took your job as dance captain so seriously, and I think that you had a lot of pride in it. We've spoken about it, but you have so much pride in being dance captain and being able to lead a group of people. So, like, why wouldn't this be the perfect job for you, you know?
Yeah. I'm happy with it for sure.
Well, good. Everything just seems to be just going so well for you. That sounded very sarcastic. And maybe it slightly was, but no, I am very happy for you, truly.
So when are you joining me? When are you gonna quarantine for 10 days and then I can't see you because we're in a lockdown anyway?
Oh, Deschenes Graham. So we're actually moving along. So we had to submit a form. I think basically, so if we were applying for it on our own, we would have had to put together like a cover letter of basically explaining everything about our lives, explaining why I want to come to the UK, explaining how we met, how all of this. And the lawyer, because we're paying our lawyer, he's doing that for us. I'm sure it's probably like an outline or like a kind of like a skeleton, and he'll basically fill in all the details of Jacob and I's relationship and all of that. But we had to fill out this crazy form. I mean, talking about like when have I left the country in the past 10 years? Something.
Which country?
The U.S. So the one that I'm from.
Ooh.
Yeah. Luckily, because we were working on ships and we didn't stay for more than a day, it counts as transit. So we didn't have to list that.
Good.
Oh God, I know. But we were like still asking the lawyer, and he was like, yeah, maybe like because I have to have an interview when I go get my biometrics done. They were like, maybe in your interview, just mention that you worked on cruise ships and that. Because I have like a few stamps in my passport from like when I've either left a country or I've come in. Like when I broke my thumb, when Jacob broke my thumb on the Vision, and I had to go home, and then I came back in Mexico. And so they stamped my passport the night that I stayed. And I I freaked out because once we submitted all of the paperwork, I then remembered that I stayed one night in Mexico, and I called Jacob and I was like, oh, we're not going to get the visa because I didn't. And he was like, it's fine. So.
Didn't you like angry text me that Jacob had to measure your room?
Yes. So that was also something, was that we had to measure our room, our flat, and our bathroom in centimeters. Well, I didn't. Jacob did. But in centimeters.
And what does that prove exactly? That
I think
you're
it's
smart enough to use a measuring tape?
I think it has... Girl, I don't know. It's like a bunch of details about our lives. And we were like, okay, great. We submitted that.
That's kind of sweet, though. They're like, that bathroom is too small. Joey deserves better. Get a bigger place. Thank you.
You're not coming to the UK until you get a better place. So we submitted that off to the lawyer, and I think that he started putting together the cover letter. He then sent back another kind of like final checklist, which to see the word final was just like completely reaffirming. But
I love that there's a cover letter, though. It's like, Dear the Queen.
Basically.
Joey has a big enough bathroom for all of his stuff. He loves gin, and he, wants to just like do his husband a bunch. Let him in. Should I write the cover letter?
I think. You kidding me? They'll go across the desk and they'll be like, approved.
Speaking as someone who has a job in the UK.
Hey, that's it's more than I can say.
I take 2 trains to get to work. I'm so legit.
Do ya? Oh, you're just like a regular Londoner at this point. I don't even recognize you anymore. Who is she?
It's the ginger spice dress that I'm wearing right now. That's why.
It's your Anne Hathaway moment that you like go from athleisure to, yes, I am wearing it.
Are those the Chanel boots?
The Chanel boots.
Yeah, they are. I have a hideous shirt convention to go to later.
So we got our final checklist in, and we've hit a bit of a hiccup. Surprise, surprise. Basically, we have to get an approval letter from our landlord saying that it's okay for me to live there. The whole problem with that is, when we originally were moving in, he said no couple. So...
That, I'm not a scientist, but that is an issue.
I would say that's definitely not a good thing. So we are putting together a message to send off to our landlord to ask for permission. So, no stress at all. None whatsoever. As you could tell by the 3 changes of octaves in my voice. So I'm like we're both trying to stay calm and collected until basically the moment comes where he says no. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen because honestly, like the amount of trouble that our landlord has had to fill some of the rooms that have gone empty in our flat, to have 2 people, whether you say no couples or not, to have people who are willing to pay rent every month and are willing to stay there, why would you say no? But
yeah, listen, I've seen the trash walkway that leads up to your apartment.
Shut up.
He should be so lucky. No, I'm saying it in your defense. There is
a lovely back entrance. Okay, lovely back entrance. I guess you could say that about me.
For possums and skunks and foxes and...
You know what? I embrace all wildlife here,
Oh, nobody told me that all the foxes just like scream at night.
Yes, it's frightening.
It's terrifying.
So basically, we're waiting to hear back from our landlord. And so we were talking like worst case scenario. Let's say landlord comes back and says, that's not what I agreed upon. I don't want you living there anymore. I would then fly to the UK next week, 2 weeks from now, and be here for a little bit so that Jacob and I can find a new place so that we can then get everything we need together. Then I fly back to the States because I have to be in the States when I apply for my visa.
Right.
And we go from there. But basically, either way, I'm going to be in the UK in a month, no matter what, unless we get
because once you submit the thingy, it only takes like a week to get approved, right?
So this is another thing. I wish it was as easy as your visa. Looking back, I'm like, damn, it was so easy for you, which is like great. I'm like, that's such a good thing. But like, it was just so easy.
No, talk about imposter syndrome. I swear to God, I'm like, sometimes I look around and I'm like, who okayed this? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Who let me into their country?
What?
So they, you know how I was talking about how there's like an expedited option that we could choose to pay for, and they like basically speed rush it. Well, because there's absolutely no one applying for visas, they've canceled all the options, and they basically are just saying now, there's no options, you don't pay for anything, and it takes 10 to 15 business days. Now,
but it'll be less than that.
That's what I'm thinking is like, I think they say 10 to 15 business days to cover their, you-know-whats,
yeah.
asses.
Yeah, I was going to say, everything else you say, you don't want to say that?
So we no longer have the expedited option, which on one hand, it's like, great, I don't have to hemorrhage more money to the UK government. But on another hand, I'm like, I wanted my visa the next day. We're kind of either way you look at it, it's either a win-win or a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Because either, it's like in one way you can say, oh, great, I don't have to pay for it. I don't lose money. And another way, I'm like,
yeah. And I was going to say mine took literally like 5 days and I didn't expedite it at all. But also mine was so straightforward and I didn't have to measure anything. So
No, you did not.
I barely had to weigh my luggage.
So yeah, I mean, the good thing is that like we are seeing the end of the application process. We just have to now tackle another thing, which I'm not really choosing to think about at this that's a common theme is I just don't choose to think about certain things. And this is one of them.
That's coping. That's just like adulthood.
I just kind of have to like say like, you know what? In this very moment, my stress is not going to be put on that. So cool. Great. That's in the background now.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else I want to tell you. Oh my God. I got my first piece of post at my flat. Look.
Wait, what did you say? Who am I talking to? Who sent that?
Can you read it or is it backward?
No, I can read it.
It's my friend Charlotte.
Aw.
It says, I can't wait to get drunk in your new London house. But she wrote London because apparently that's not a card option. Yeah, it's just a nice card. There's writing on the inside.
Okay, I was like,
I'm not going to read it.
So you're adjusting well.
Yeah, I was saying to one of my roommates earlier today, like it's so lucky that I like everybody that I live with because they are literally the only people that I talk to. Literally, I was phoning my mom earlier today and she was like, have you seen Jacob very much? And I was like, no, we're in a lockdown. I don't talk to anyone except for the people that I live with. So I'm very lucky to imagine like if I moved here, didn't have anybody, and then also like didn't feel comfortable walking out of my room. Ugh.
Yeah, that would be not very good.
Yeah. And like all of my training for work and stuff has been done over Zoom. So I'll be in this office, but I'm like the only one there. So yeah, so like I've met people that I work with, but I haven't actually met anybody face to face except for a couple of people. But yeah, so it's just, I'm very lucky that everyone here is so lovely and they share their gin.
How have you found the whole coronavirus lockdown compared to the States? I mean, I know Washington definitely was quite different than how London is handling it, but I'm interested to know like what your perspective is on like as she takes another drink?
I have a perspective on it.
Really?
So, like,
that's so surprising.
I know. What? Opinions? So there's like a new strain. I mean, at this point, everywhere has new strains and they're all fucking awful. But so there was like a thing that came out that depending on where you are in the UK, sometimes it's like 1 in 20 people have coronavirus. Sometimes it's like 1 in 10 people have coronavirus. So I'll be like standing in line at the grocery store and I'll look around and I'll be like 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so one of us has it. One of us has it. Who is it? Is it me? I don't know.
I can literally see you standing in line at the grocery store and literally going.
Just another moment. Which is wild because like in Washington, I would see 20 people like in a week, you know, like I'm just not used to being around this many people, and then adding, you know, fear on top of it. Super fun. But then, because you know my ass, I'm still like wearing a mask, like trying to make cute eye contact with like people who are attractive from the bridge of the nose up. And I'm like, I'm new. What's up?
She's so new.
Are you gonna grab that? Can I? Okay. No, back up. But like, hi.
6 feet.
I was walking home from the train station last night, got distracted by a cute boy, and walked 7 blocks past my street to turn around and come back. It took me so long.
You're like, wait, none of this looks familiar.
Oh my God, it was so funny. But again, can't talk to anybody, so just didn't say anything. I just pivot turned and retraced my steps. Oh God.
So, weirdly enough, so I haven't started my Etsy store yet, but let me tell you why.
Okay, because my mom was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go look for it," and I was like, "I don't think it exists yet," and she was like, "Well, it better." So
it technically does exist.
Start it.
It technically does exist. I do have it. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is yet because what ended up happening was so I made Jacob a merman shirt for his birthday, or no, for Christmas. I made him the merman shirt.
Yes, we know this.
We know this.
Yes, we know this. Thank you for getting that.
And I was like, oh, great, it's cute, lovely, awesome. So Jacob ended up posting it on Twitter, just being like, look what my husband made me for Christmas. He's starting an Etsy store, so everyone just like basically look out. And I was driving home from work when he posted it. And by the time I got home from work, there was like 300 likes, like 25 retweets. I had like probably about 90 new. I went, well, relatively. But I got a flood in my DMs. Like, people just being like, I want one. How can I get one? How can I order one? So I started taking orders. And I've already shipped out 2 shirts. I have about 4 orders, like, I've actually taken payment for and need to make shirts for. And I probably have about 10 to 15 different, like, people waiting on orders. And I haven't even launched my Etsy store yet. And there are people who DM'd me and were like, let me know when your Etsy store is open. I'll definitely order something.
Oh, my God.
I'm, like, fully, okay.
So, is it just merman shirts or is it every of the shirts?
So,
is it cow pants?
I haven't put any of the jumpsuits up yet. So, like, I am basically, I go to work, retail work, and I come home and I go to work and I make shirts. Like, I am nonstop right now because, listen, with someone with social anxiety, we notice. My biggest concern is not even like making the shirts. It's when people message me. When people message me and they're like, I want one, and I take their payment, I'm like, oh God, they're freaking out that they don't have their shirt yet. They want it now. They're not, and me freaking out that basically I am not making them quick enough when they fully know it's a handmade shirt, like made to order. Like, it probably will take a while, and I'm like, it's not quick enough. They're gonna hate me, and it's not how it goes. I think people are pretty patient when it comes to things like that, but I've already sent out 2 orders, and yes, they are mostly for like the merman shirt because I think it's like really gay, and I think that like people want gay things. Gay people want gay things. queer people want queer things. That's just how it is. And that's like the biggest order. So I've literally had to order like 45 yards of that fabric because I don't know how many shirts I'm going to make. But I like basically was like, let me order as much as I possibly can right now.
I'm so excited because you're just getting way more experience to then make my clothes for me.
Somehow it always comes back to Deschenes. And you know what? I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
You're like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what jacket is he going to make me next?
It's just, okay. Brainstorming.
I look really good in green.
I was going to say, you look like you're just concentrating on the conversation when really you're just thinking about what's on the design board.
I'm like, how can we transition from merman to me getting a cow jumpsuit?
But yeah, it's been crazy. So I ordered like little like small seals that have my design on it, like my logo on it, because I designed a logo as well.
What's your logo?
You haven't seen the logo? Oh my God. Oh wait, no.
No, because
wait.
you're a bad friend.
No one's seen the logo yet. Okay, so I'm sending you over the logo.
Yeah, but it has to go across the whole ocean. Give her a second. Oh, she's here. Oh, I like it. I like the font. It's less gay than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I really wanted something that was simple, understated, and made like a good statement. And like my favorite kind of color story is black, white, and red. Like no matter what, like that is like my go-to. I fucking love it. It's classy. It's sexy. It's just the right, like, it has that je ne sais quoi, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it succeeds. I do like it. It's just not what I thought off the top of my head that it was going to look like. Kind
of almost bespoke feeling, which I wish I could do bespoke right now, but because I can't take people's exact measurements. And I want to at least have that kind of that essence, that lovely feeling that you get when you get a really nice package, you know? And we all love getting a nice package. Am I right? Still too low? Still below the belt?
No, I liked that one. I do think also that logo kind of gives you the space to expand into like more avant-garde, kind of more straight adjacent, you know?
Yeah.
Like the straights that have good style.
I want to, like, you're right. That's exactly what I was going for. Like, I didn't.
If they're out there, are you out there, straights?
Hello?
No straights that I know.
No straights that I know.
Oh, I'm going to get lots of angry messages about that one.
Oh, yes, you will. So Etsy, when you look up your Etsy store on Google, like if you type in my Etsy store name on Google, it kind of puts a tagline, like a stamp of, like your tagline. And mine is...
Like a slogan?
Like a slogan. Mine is unapologetically unique and queer, which I thought was really cute because that's what I am, you know? I feel like that matches really well. And
I love it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. It's just like that's the exact feeling that I want when you go onto like my Etsy store, for you to feel like everything's unique. Being a queer person myself, I want to make clothing that makes queer people feel happy, and you can buy something that matches your uniqueness and who you are, and not giving a shit about like what clothes should be and shouldn't be, you know?
100%. And also too, like, I think before when you spoke about like from such a young age being so aware of people staring at you and, you know, kind of feeling that pressure, making the choice to like say, go fuck yourself. I'm going to dress how I want to dress and be who I want to be, regardless of what you think of me. I think that's such a great message for anybody. Drag.
Drag.
Teaches her one thing about RuPaul's Drag Race. You're officially too cool to be my friend.
Shut up. You know what? A lot of the time, I'm never influenced by pop culture. Like, I don't really care all that much about like what's in the zeitgeist and kind of like what style and what fashion is. But I'm like getting so into this whole mullet thing, and I really want to dye my ends platinum blonde and cut the sides of my hair and leave the back of it long. Business in the front, party in the back. You know what? You can look at me like that, but you never know. You never know. I could be just cool enough to pull it off.
Okay, it's not you that I'm worried about, okay? It's you pulling it off and then people seeing you and thinking they also could pull it off, and then bing, bang, boom, another pandemic on our hands.
Another pandemic. I can't. But I really do. I really do want it.
Listen, if I'm honest when I think that you're too good to be friends with me, I'm going to be honest when I think you look like a trash possum.
And that's okay. Maybe that's the vibe I want to go for. You know, maybe at this point in my life, like that's where I'm at.
What, married and settling?
But I do. I really, really do. But that being said,
can I ask you something?
Yes.
Did you ever go to like the spa on board to get your hair cut?
I did.
How did it go?
Not fabulous. Not great.
Can I tell you something about me? So, my first 2 contracts, by accident, I stole the same spa girl's boyfriend twice. Once on my first ship, and then we went to the second ship.
Wait, the same girl?
Got a boyfriend, and I stole that boyfriend too. And so, since my very first contract, it's one of those things that I have in my brain.
You don't see the spa.
That all the spa girls know, and they all hate me because of this thing that happened 6 years ago. And so then, like, if I ever go and get my hair cut by a spa girl, she'll like fuck it up on purpose and then be like, it's not logical. It's just what I have in my head that is going to happen because this weird turn of events that occurred.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I stole a girl's boyfriend twice. She probably hates me.
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she probably has like a voodoo doll of you and like your picture up on a candlelit shrine that every night she goes to and goes, this fucking bitch.
Yeah, I don't blame her. The first time was an accident, but the second time was kind of
That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, no, there was like one contract, and Lord knows if I can remember which one it was. I had a spa girl who was like really great. She was really nice. We were good friends. We like chatted. We got along really well, and then she got pregnant by a cruise staff and had to leave. So that didn't end up working too well for me or her, really.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was like, I think she was like 20 or 21 at the time, and she was Welsh, and I think he was Mexican or Colombian. So they were like on 2 completely opposite sides of like planet. And yeah, and I think she ended up having the baby. But how crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, make sure that you rate us 5 stars. Make sure that you subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening to so that you don't miss any episodes coming up. We come out with a new episode every single Tuesday. Also, make sure that you follow us on our social media. Joey, what's our Twitter?
Our Twitter is New to the City. Make sure you spell City CiTea.
And we also have a Facebook page, a YouTube page, and an Instagram. All of that is New to the City Podcast. We also have a email, and that is newtothecitypodcast@gmail.com. That is CiTea. Cheers, my dude.
Cheers. Clink.
I miss you so much.
I know. We need to clink together soon. Clink up.
Clink together. We need to clink up. Okay, bye.
Bye.